Hey, we're live, Kevin.
Hey, what's up, Norm? How you doing, man?
Good. On the podcast today, I talked to everybody about just like a live session we're going to be doing about an event that's coming up. One that kind of just,
Podcast today. Oops.
oh,
I'm
hey,
gonna share it real quick.
I can tell you we're live. And
Yeah.
how's that? Is it fixed now?
Yeah, it's sharing.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so the reason why we're here is last Wednesday we had an opportunity to go to an F1 event. So we had already booked. Kevin and I, if you don't know, are huge F1 fans. I was supposed to go last year with the family, but we got stopped at the border. We couldn't cross. That got canceled. This year we booked pretty much the second that the tickets came on, pretty much 6 months beforehand. We got VIP tickets for both of our families, and we are planning to go down there. When we got back from an event, we were just in Paris together. Kevin got some great news, and you can talk about that.
Yeah, like you said, we tried earlier this year. We decided to go and we tried to get a cabana. Because I've been to the race. It's here in Austin. It's been here. I think this is the 11th year, technically the 10th, because they didn't do one during the COVID. But I've been probably seven or eight of them, and I've experienced it every different way. I've experienced it from just walking around the track, which is cool, to actually being in the little VIP sections, like Sports Illustrated has one, like the little cover to the bleachers. But the best experience I ever had was actually in a cabana. It's like a semi. Some of them are like super cool. They're like semi-private tents, and so they have their own like bathrooms, like are super clean, your own bar, your own food, and like good food, not like here's some hot dogs and hamburgers, but like real like food with people serving it. And it's just amazing. And my wife and I last year, you're supposed to come down with your family, and you couldn't make it because of the airline rules and U.S. rules. So we ended up going, and I think we paid just for the F1 day, just for the final day, because it's a 3-day race. Just for the final day, we paid about $4,000 a ticket, plus like another $600 or $800 for the parking pass. Because you can take an Uber or something out there, but it's like a 3-hour wait. So if you don't have your own transportation lined up, it's a circus. There's like 400,000 people out there last year. It's the biggest ever of any F1 anywhere in the world, in fact. And so when we did this, I was like, this is badass. This is the way to do it. You're not in the huge crowds. You got private little lounge, little couches, your own little TV if you want to watch the race around the curves. Plus, you're like right there on the track looking at it. So I was like, dude, we got to get a cabana. And then when we tried to do it this year, I called the sales reps, the VIP. It's like, sorry, man, they're all taken. People from the past. So we'll put us on the waiting list. And then, like you just said, when we got back from this event in Paris with Howard, they like last Wednesday, the guy called me and said, hey, you know what? We just added 12 new cabanas that we've never had at the top of turn one. I'm like, okay, I know the track pretty well. It's like, that's a pretty cool spot. He's like, you can see right down the hill, right to where the race finishes. He's like, yeah, you'll see the confetti at the end. It's a turn where they overtake each other a lot of times because this turn is up a big hill and it's complicated. And I'm like, that's a badass spot. What do you got left? He said, man, we're almost sold out. Do you want one of these? I'm like, foot us down. I immediately I said, well, give me like 10 minutes. Let me call my buddy Norm and see if we want to spring for this because this stuff ain't cheap. And he's like, hell, I'm in. If you're in, well, I'm in. So I'm like, asked the wife for permission. Can I put the credit card down? She said, well, okay. And it was done. And then we in this process, Norm and I were talking about, we were just at this mastermind sitting around the fire at this castle that Howard had in Paris. And, there's a lot of cool stuff that happens on stage and people sharing different things and some really good speakers. But at these events, and I think Norm will agree with me, I always find the best value afterwards, sitting around smoking a cigar or having a drink if you drink. Norm doesn't drink, so it's always cigars and Coke Zero with him. But with me, it's cigars and whatever else. Sometimes it's Coke Zero, but sometimes I'm imbibing other things. And we sat around this fire from, I don't know, 9 p.m. to like 3 a.m. a couple of nights, several nights.
Yeah.
That's where just shooting the shit, just talking. Some of it's just general stupid stuff, but a lot of it's business, and this one couple guys are just spewing the nuggets. This one speaker is just like, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. One of the guys that's there already emailed me and said, hey, I implemented some of what he said in his PPC. And he's like, it's crushing, Kevin. This is like So we're like, Norm, this is where the cool stuff always happens, and you make relationships. And so why don't we do this with F1? And we can invite people. We got this cabana, and we got extra space. Why don't we make this into an event? And so instead of one day, like I went last year and spent $4,000 for this 1 day ticket for $3, we got 3 full days of the event. The way the event works is, if you've never been to an F1, the Friday is a practice day. So it's if you're seriously into the cars, it's a big day for you. But for most people, it's kind of a little bit more boring day, but still cool to be out there. And then Saturday is a qualifying. So they race to see the positioning, and there's some other, besides F1, there's some other race cars and some other stuff happening. And then Sunday is the big event. And then what they do is they put concerts on. So they do 2 main concerts. So F1 here in Austin always brings 2 big acts. I've seen everything from Pink to Bruno Mars to Rolling Stones to Stevie Wonder to all kinds of stuff out there. But they'll bring 1 act on the Friday night and another act on Saturday night. And they do a live. It's included in the ticket, but when you get a cabana, you get upgraded. So you get like front row seats. And we're on a list to actually get bleacher seats, which are really hard to get, with free drinks and awesome views. So that's what we have those 2 nights. And then Norm and I said, hey, we got to throw something else in here. So people got to come in the night before. So let's go out to a really cool cigar lounge or a cool bar where we can smoke and have some drinks and just shoot the shit. And then let's add on Sunday night, we're going to take everybody out to a really nice dinner. You know how I eat, Norm. You know how we do, how we roll. We do the Kobe beef. There's no Kobe beef in Austin, but you know how we like to roll. This is not let's go get Chili's. This is let's go to a nice place and we'll have a nice dinner. We'll include all that. Plus, we're arranging the transportation. We'll get a couple vans to take everybody so that you don't have to deal with all the hassles. Plus, there's some parties. We don't know what they are yet, but there's always some crazy DJs come into town, and there's like after parties, and there's all kinds of other stuff that we don't know the list yet, but we'll probably have some access to some of that. So that's what we put together here, is this whole weekend. And
this is within about 48 hours. So
so on Friday, when it's qualifying, we're going to have we'll have our cabana. It's free. It's breakfast, lunch, and dinner out there. Free drinks. It's covered. And so you can wander around. You can watch some, and then we're going to do some, sitting around the campfire, except we're sitting around the racetrack type of, sharing stuff with each other. And then, we have a little TV, so there might be a few little presentations and stuff from some people. And it's going to be just a lot of fun, just hanging out, getting to know some people, and just sharing what's working in their business. And so that's why we decided, Norm said, hey, we need a name for this. What can we call this? We just want to call it Come Norm and Kevin's F1. So we came up with, these Collective Mind Society, which sounds pretty cool and was available. So we got Collective Mind Society with an S or without an S .com. And so we put that up and said, hey, if this one goes well, maybe we'll do something in the future, around some other type of event where people that want to come and have fun and network with some other high successful e-commerce individuals can do it. So we have a mix of sellers and, there might be a couple sponsors that are service provider types. But it's a mix of some of the smartest people in the space that want to have fun, that want to share with each other, and want to get together to just make each other better and make each other's business better and have fun while doing it. So it's not a serious, sit in the classroom type of a deal. It's more of a informal with a lot of value, and that's what we've put together. Sorry, Norm, I hate the 5 minutes.
Kick him back. Listen, I'm almost ready to go for a cigar. But anyway, everything that you're saying is 100%. Like the value that is in this cabana, it's kind of this is ideally what we wanted. If we can throw a few other people in there and have a good time, that's awesome. But this mastermind, I don't want people to confuse this with a set, one speaker after another speaker after another speaker. We're going to have a group of people that will be presenting. Kevin and I will definitely be presenting. We'll have a couple of other presenters. But what we want to do is do something a little bit different. And I learned this from Dima Kubrick when we were at a mastermind in Mallorca together. And that was the value, just like Kevin said, it wasn't at the race. It was sitting around the campfire. And Dima does this at his events.
It wasn't at the event; it was at the campfire.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was at the campfire. And Dima did this in Mallorca. We were at a big group in Mallorca, and he said, "Okay, everybody in this room, you've got lots of talent here. Tell me what you do. What are your top hacks, or what do you do to optimize your listing?" Anyways, the list that we came out with was incredible. That's the same thing here. There might be sellers. We're getting questions already. I'm a beginner seller. I'm a immediate seller. I'm an 8-figure seller. I'm a service provider. Who's the right fit? It doesn't matter. We're going to be there. We're going to be kind of bouncing ideas or nuggets or whatever you want to call them. Kevin calls them ninja hacks a lot of the time, but just substance that you probably wouldn't get by just going to a typical event. So the fun is the mastermind. Oh, sorry, the event is educational, but then we've got this incredible, really incredible, once in a lifetime event that we can't. I mean, we love. I mean, we couldn't believe we got turn one. We both know where turn one is, and it's at the top of the steepest hill in F1, where all the overtaking can take place at the beginning of the race. It's pretty exciting. So I guess I had some notes here. We put up a quick website that was up there. We just launched it about a half hour ago, maybe an hour ago. And Kelsey, you can put it here. We're going to make it, it'll be collectivemindsociety.com. Right now there's it goes to F1-Mastermind. It's complicated. We will make sure that it's not complicated. All you have to do is go to the link here and you'll see all the information. One of the things, if you are interested in this, that you have to keep in mind, the hotels aren't included in this. You'll have to go and book them quickly, because the closer you get to the event, the chances are you're going to be first. It'll be even higher than it will be right now, or they'll be completely out.
I mean, to be honest, the hotels in Austin right now, all the good hotels are pretty much gone. Unless you got a connection, you're not going to get into the Marriott or the Hyatt or the Fairmont or something. They're booked out. There's some Motel 6s and some places where the homeless stay where they jack the rates from $50 a night to $500 a night, some crazy stuff. Like, I'm serious, like that on the edge of town, like far out. Like Norm was looking at one last week. He's like, "Oh, what about this one here?" For people, I was like, "No, that's like 45 minutes away, in the northern part of the northern suburb." But what we have is on that page, there's a special link where there's, I live in downtown Austin, and there's a new building that just went up right next to us, and we've been watching it being built for 2 years, 33-story building called Nativo with 2 eyes. And it's a new concept. And basically what it is it's people can't live there. You can't live there permanently. It's an Airbnb condo apartments. So you buy the unit. They have one in Miami, and this is the second one of this concept. You buy the unit, so you pay $500,000, $1 million bucks or whatever for your apartment. You're only allowed to stay there a maximum of 6 months a year as the owner. The other 6 months of the year, you have to rent it out, and they manage it for you. So instead of you go into Airbnb and doing it all, they'll manage it, and for a fee and make sure it's clean. So it's kind of like a condo hotel, and it's super nice. There's a pool on the 33rd floor. It overlooks the river and all of downtown. It's got a dog park. It's got an exercise room, yoga room, a bar in the basement. It's extremely nice, but it's not on the radar of most people now. So when we were looking for places for people to stay, I was like, this place, I looked it up, and sure as shit, there's like 20 or something rooms as of right now still available in it. They've jacked the rate because it's F1 weekend. Everything is higher, like 3 times higher than normal, but they're available. And it's a perfect location. You can walk to bars. You're in the middle of everything. And so that's where we're going to be picking everybody up. So if you stay somewhere else, and you decide, to do something different, stay in your own Airbnb, or you've got a buddy that lives here or whatever, you'll want to make your way there, because that's where we're going to have like nice vans, pick everybody up to take everybody out to everything. Or if you can stay there, that's great. But those rooms will probably go. We've already had a few people, several people actually. I think we're at 70, 80%, somewhere around 70% as of this recording on Monday midday Monday. It's sold out. So I know several people have already grabbed a room there. So if you haven't, or if you're thinking about coming, you need to act, because these will disappear.
And we have nothing to do with it, by the way. We don't have an affiliation with it. This is just something that Kevin said, hey, what about this room? What about this condo? A lot of people don't know about it. So we added the link to the web page, and you can just cut your own deal with them.
Yeah. So that's if you want to join us, we'd love to have you join us. It's not cheap. You got to fly in, you got to get your hotel. So, but it's an experience that you're not going to have. It's anywhere else where you can come to a really cool F1 event, probably the biggest in the world, actually, from attendance wise. Coming to Austin, a cool city, you're going to be around a lot of smart people, hanging out, sharing some cool nuggets, making some new friends, networking. I think you can't go wrong really with this, and so hopefully you're able to join us. Even if you're not in F1, I'm not a big race guy, so I don't care about races. But you know what? Once you get out there, the drilling gets into you, and you start seeing it. You're like, this is pretty freaking cool. And I know with the Netflix show that really pumped up over the last couple of years, it really gave F1 a lot of exposure in the U.S. I think this race might be even bigger. I know they just did one in Miami, and they're doing one in Vegas next year in the U.S. But the Austin one is the granddaddy, and it's the one you definitely want to be at if you can.
Right. And so, as for the ticket price, it's a flat for the seats. It's a flat $10,000. The standing, we've got 3 standing tickets available, and right now, Kevin, what were they going for?
Like 7,500, I think, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. So, anyways, they're a little bit less, but one of the things about the F1, don't worry about the standing if you want to pay a little bit less. A lot of people are going to be standing as soon as that race starts, so that's the important part.
And I think the reason they have this, I mean, we have a cabana, so it's by fire code, it's limited to like 12 chairs.
Yeah.
And so then they say, well, we can, we can actually have 15 people in there. So that's why it's standing. So it's not like, you're going to be able to sit down. Some people are going to be moving around. It's not like it's, stand over in a corner and, look over, jump up and down to see over everybody's heads. It's not like that. It's not like that.
And there is a payment link at the very bottom of the page. It just goes over to a merchant page. And you click that, it'll go over, and that's that. We'll get in touch with you. And then we would recommend just booking your hotels right away. Like I'm talking about within the week for sure, even though it's in October. So, and one of the things, we really didn't want this to look like, oh, you got to book it right away. You got to book it right away. But you absolutely do, because of that reason. The hotels go very quickly. And anyways, just want to make sure that we get the word out there. It is in October. You would probably want to book this within the next couple of days. There's a few seats. Well, there's a handful of seats left for the sitting, and then get booked, because if you wait any longer, whether you try to book, well, you can't book a ticket, right, Kevin? It's sold out.
Yeah, I think you might be able to get a general admission. You could probably get a general admission ticket to go into the event, but
I don't even know if you can get that right now.
I know all the cabanas, all the VIP stuff, all that stuff sells out, and these tickets go in the aftermarket for serious money. I mean, what we have here, there'll be somebody hawking these in October, or not our place. You'll be with a bunch of strangers or something for probably, I saw last year, 15, 20 grand just for the weekend.
Yeah.
And that doesn't include, we're throwing in the dinner, we have the cigars the first night, and the transportation out there, which can be a pain in the ass. We got that organized for everybody too. So you just got to get yourself to the airport, to Austin. There's direct, if you're coming from Europe, there's direct flights from London, from Amsterdam, from Frankfurt. Anywhere in the U.S. basically has direct flights. There's direct flights from Toronto and Vancouver and Canada, and also I think Calgary as well in Canada to Austin. So the airport will be busy. If you're someone that doesn't like busy airports, especially on that Monday after F1, the race goes till the 23rd and the 24th. That Monday is going to be a zoo at the airport. So if you're planning on flying out that day, just make sure you build in lots of time, like 4 hours. I'm not joking, 4 hours to go through the security lines. or hang out in Austin for another day. I think that's what Norm may be doing.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
And if anybody that's hanging out, maybe we can go to dinner or something Monday night or whatever. We'll figure something out. It's not part of the official schedule, but we can do some sort of informal thing, and then fly out Tuesday when it's not so crazy. If you have trouble getting to Austin for some reason, San Antonio is an hour and 20 minutes away, the airport there, so that could be another option if if you have, it's just not as many connections in the San Antonio, even though it's technically a bigger metropolitan area than Austin. Austin's where everybody wants to be, and it has a lot more flights.
Yeah. So if you're interested, you could either just get a hold of us, or you could send an email to Kelsey. That's k@lunchwithnorm.com. We've set up an email, vip@collectivemindssociety.com. But reaching out to Kelsey would probably be the easiest, or reach out to us on Facebook and we can get you some information. So just to complete this, if you're interested, come on in on Thursday. We're going to go out to a really great lounge that you can have a cigar or you don't have to have a cigar. We're providing cigars and drinks. The next day on Friday, we're heading over. They've got the F1 and the F2, I think it is, that are practicing. We're going to have a mastermind out there. We're going to sit around. We're going to do some presentations. We're going to network. Then we're going to go out. I think it's Green Day that night. And oh, by the way, like all breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's there. On the next day, we're going out to qualifying. Same thing. We're going to network and do some masterminding. And then we're going to go to Ed Sheeran. And then the final day is the big race day. And then we're going to go out to dinner, and that'll be it. But everything included is $10,000. The link is there. Just let us know if you'd like to come. And this is on the whim. This really just started Wednesday. So if you're interested, we'd love to have you.
Cool. I hope to see some of you out there, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be an awesome time.
All right.